Everything's pointing toward one of those moments you just can't miss. Mark Andrews is inches away from making history in the NFL, and the next game could turn a simple catch into something massive. The record's right there waiting, the anticipation's building, and that it's happening now or never kind of feeling is already in the air, the kind that gets your heart racing. And the wild part? It could happen on the very first play. Andrews and Lamar are so in sync that one perfectly timed throw could change everything right there in front of you. If you think you've already seen big moments in Ravens history, this one might top them all, and it's worth watching every second, because when moments like this are about to happen, nobody wants to be the one who hears about it after the fact. Mark Andrews is living through one of those career-defining stretches that make you stop and pay attention. He's just 18 yards away from becoming the all-time receiving leader in Ravens history, a milestone that goes way beyond stats. It's about everything he's built since the day he arrived in Baltimore. You can feel the weight of it when you realize he's about to pass Derrick Mason, one of the most beloved players ever to wear purple and black. And the way Andrews got here makes this moment even more special. Always consistent, always clutch, always showing up when the team needs him most. What makes it all more impressive is how calm he is about it. While fans and analysts argue about his future, contract talks, and what's next, Andrews just plays. He steps on the field, does his job, and keeps his focus on what's right in front of him. That mindset is exactly why this record feels like a natural result of who he is. Nothing forced, nothing flashy, just pure work ethic and respect for the jersey he wears. And the stage couldn't be more fitting for this record to fall. His connection with Lamar Jackson is sharper than ever, and that sets the scene for this milestone to happen early against the Vikings. You can almost picture it, that opening drive, Andrews finding space in the middle of the field, and suddenly you realize you're watching history being made. That's why so many are calling this one of those games you remember forever. Not because of the opponent, but because of what Andrews might do. Still, he's not turning it into a personal celebration. Quite the opposite. He talks with humility, gratitude, and a sense of perspective that only comes from experience. He thanks Baltimore for the journey, Lamar for the partnership, his teammates for the grind they've shared. It's a simple way of showing something deeper. Andrews doesn't chase records. They just happen because he never stops putting the team first. And maybe that's exactly what makes this moment so powerful. And as he closes on that milestone, there's another storyline quietly shaping everything. The connection between Andrews and Lamar Jackson, a bond that defines his offense and helps explain why none of this feels like a surprise. The relationship between Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson is still one of the most dangerous and dependable weapons in football. It's not just chemistry. It's trust, built over years of repetition, clutch moments, and shared success. When Lamar drops back, his first instinct is often to look for Andrews, and that says everything about how important he is in this offense. Their timing is so natural that at times it feels like they're playing their own private game, one where only they know the next move. What's even more fascinating is how this connection hasn't faded over time. It's actually evolved. Lamar has grown into a more patient, more poised quarterback, and Andrews has matched that growth perfectly, refining his routes, improving his positioning, and always being that steady, reliable target. When they're on the field together, everything feels smoother, more controlled, even when the pressure's on. And that connection is exactly what's fueling the anticipation for this record. Andrews could very well get those 18 yards early, maybe even on the first drive, because Lamar knows where he'll be and trusts him completely. Every milestone Andrews hits is, in some way, a reflection of what they built together. A partnership that survived coordinator changes, roster turnover, and evolving philosophies. When you listen to Andrews talk about Lamar with such appreciation, you realize this isn't just a quarterback, tight end duo. It's mutual respect and competitiveness pushing both of them to get better. That's what keeps Andrews relevant, dangerous, and dominant every single season. And while that connection explains how he got here, another side of the story stands out even more: his humility and laser focus on winning, which makes everything he achieves hit even harder. Even with another record right in front of him, Andrews refuses to let it become a distraction. He talks about it with a calm confidence that surprises people expecting excitement. For him, the mission stays the same. Win the next game, keep the streak alive, help his team. It's the kind of mindset that shows a deep understanding of his place in the franchise and why his legacy keeps growing without him even chasing it. That perspective feels rare in today's NFL. Andrews doesn't chase stats. They come naturally. He values his teammates, credits the organization, and talks openly about gratitude and growth. It's not about being remembered later. It's about doing things right now, in the moment. The legacy builds itself when you live like that. Inside the tight end room, nobody's talking about milestones or yardage. Not because it doesn't matter, but because Andrews sets the tone. What matters is the next game. The culture he helps shape speaks louder than any number ever could, and that leadership shows up everywhere. He doesn't inspire through speeches. He does it through consistency. Every rep, every clean route, every extra block. It's all part of why he's respected on and off the field. He knows the story he's writing matters, but he never lets it come before the team. That humility becomes even more impressive when you see how he's managed to sustain this level for so long. And that takes us to one of the most defining parts of his career.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video. But before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
Playing 8 seasons in the NFL at a high level is already rare. Doing it at tight end, one of the toughest, most physical positions, is even more remarkable. Andrews makes it sound simple. Daily discipline, taking care of his body, and refining his routine year after year. He talks about his diet, recovery, and everything he's learned from veterans along the way. The kind of behind-the-scenes work that doesn't show up on stat sheets but defines entire careers. The craziest part? He says he feels better now than ever. Faster, lighter, more aware of his limits and needs. That kind of progress doesn't happen by accident. It's the direct result of years of self-discipline and learning what truly works for him. Those habits don't just prevent injuries. They shape how he plays. Andrews separates more cleanly, moves more fluidly, and keeps that burst deep into games. That consistency explains why he's always one of Lamar's most trusted weapons. But beyond the physical side, there's that emotional drive that never fades. Andrews talks about fighting, clawing, competing, wanting to win above everything. Every practice, every game feels like another chance to prove himself. And that mindset is what turns talent into legacy. And while he continues to perform at a high level, there's a new storyline quietly unfolding. One that could reshape the future of Baltimore's tight end room in ways few expect. Despite all the history, chemistry, and production, there's a cloud of uncertainty hanging over the future. Every tight end on the roster is in the final year of their contract, which means big decisions are coming. Nobody knows who'll stay, who'll go, or how the Ravens plan to reshape that position group. It's the kind of situation that could change the team's offensive identity completely. For Andrews, the stakes are even higher. This could be his last season wearing purple and black. Something hard to imagine given everything he's meant to this team. But he doesn't show anxiety or frustration. Instead, he talked about living in the moment, making the most of every snap, and appreciating where he is right now. It's a mature approach that shows just how deeply he understands the business side of football. These next 9 games could turn into a closing chapter, or the start of a new one. Nothing's certain, and that uncertainty gives every play, every drive, even more weight. When change might be around the corner, every snap starts to feel bigger. And that's what makes Andrews so special. He knows his value, feels the love from the organization, and continues giving everything he's got in return. Each game carries emotional weight now, especially as he closes on another record that cements his place in franchise history. Through it all, one thing hasn't changed: his focus. Andrews keeps his eyes on what truly matters: playing hard, producing, and winning. That mindset holds everything together: the records, the connection with Lamar, and the story he's writing right now in Baltimore. Mark Andrews is in one of those stretches that define a career. Everything we've seen, the partnership with Lamar, the unmatched consistency, the physical preparation, and even the uncertainty ahead, gives his record extra meaning. He's carrying a legacy built on work, loyalty, and heart, and showing there's still more left in the tank. None of it's luck. It's a product of years of focus and a bond with this team that hasn't wavered, even as everything else changes. Now the question is Andrews building the greatest tight end legacy in Ravens history? Or is there still one more chapter left to write? Whatever the answer, one thing's clear. Every game from here on out matters more than ever. And if he keeps going like this, we'll be right back here soon, talking about another record, another milestone, and another piece of history made by Mark Andrews.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself.